What's the last movie you watched?
Last movie I watched. Actually, last night.
What?
I'm a big comedy guy. Like,
Okay.
I like comedy movies. Right along
Right along one.
Yeah, Ice Cube and Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you get a break from everything else. I want to be able to laugh at the end of the night. So
Yeah.
I turned it on. It was on, I think Hulu is what it was on. I laying down. I had to get a break from life, man, and just something to easy to watch, go to sleep to. So yeah.
Do you think it was well? I find myself finding it hard to choose movies. Do you scroll through the Hulu or Peacock or whatever? You just bro, I don't know what to watch.
Feels like I went through every single movie on the list, man. Especially, I don't know about you, growing up when we first got Netflix. I mean, we used to be lined up. Me and my sister would go run up to the Red Box when we was in the Walmart. When we got Netflix, we were so spoiled. Like, there's just so much stuff on there, and now there's so many platforms. You have too many choices.
Too many choices. What was it before, like Netflix? Because I had like a Thanksgiving trivia night, and there was a question of what was the platform or the way to watch movies and films and whatever series. I think it was Blockbuster. Yeah,
Blockbuster. That's before our time, man. That's before us, man. You're making us seem old. No, I don't know much about Blockbuster, but Netflix, when that came, I was just so spoiled. Felt like, man, got too many options now. It used to be a Red Box. You know a Red Box?
I think so.
Yeah, literally used to be a Red Box, and there'd be like 30 choices on there, and you'd have to rent a movie from there, and that's all you had. Now you get on Netflix, 300, 400 movies, man, just too many choices. But
updated like every day, every 2 days.
100%.
You talked about getting old.
Yeah.
You just turned 23, bro.
23 years old. First time I said it, you was the first person to, I was like, you asked me how old I was. 23, man. I almost said 22.
22?
Yeah. Wow.
23, bro. 23.
Yeah.
I mean,
the knees are hurting in the morning now.
No. You know what's funny is like you're close. You're still closer to 20.
Yeah. 100%.
You're not closer to 30.
100%.
I do have some teammates that will watch this and be like, I'm probably itching up to like 25, 26.
Right.
Some of them kind of, I don't know how they're so eligible, but
yeah.
You're 23, but you didn't play. You didn't play.
No, not college sport.
Yeah.
High school is when it ended for me. 18 years old, so I got an earlier start on a lot of people, which has its advantages, but also has its disadvantages. When I hadn't been on that side of that level of competition, so you can only know so much. That's why there's strengths in people who played 4 years and then go on to coach. But there's also strengths in taking the route that I did, being a student assistant, student manager for 4 years before I really truly started my coaching journey. But seeing it from that side of things, I got a head start on the operational stuff side of the sports. I got one of my best friends in the world. He coaches at Missouri S&T in Rolla, Missouri. He just got done playing 2 years ago. He's in the same position as me. We talk every day, and he's like, man, like, how do you do this, and this? And, I may have questions for him on the game side of things, but he has questions for me on the operational side. So there's strengths to both. But I'm 23 years old. 23. Working in college athletics. It's a dream come true, really.
Yeah,
it truly is.
I mean, we sit here today at a time where, you're in season, but it's still a time, end of the year, where it's the promotion. The word is being thankful, Thanksgiving. Giving thanks.
100%.
And although it's over at this time of recording, I'm not sure when this will go out, but maybe before Christmas is another time where we're supposed to be grateful. Give back in some way or fashion. And I want to know before we talk about family, but like, what's Christmas like back in Poplar Bluff?
Yeah, Poplar Bluff.
Yeah, what's
Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
Yeah.
The Boot Hill of Missouri. You don't know about that. It's the little curve at the end of Missouri. Nah, it's the Boot Hill. No, but it's great. Both sides of my family live down there. Growing up, Christmas Eve was always at my mom's side of the family. Christmas Day, we have our own, like me, my two sisters, my parents. We'd have our gathering, and then right after that, we're going to my dad's side of the family. So it was kind of picture perfect growing up. Loved that part of it. It's a little more different nowadays. Everybody gets older. It's hard seeing like family get older, but it's definitely a blessing. I still have both my grandparents, both sets of them.
Wow.
And it's absolute blessing. So I'm counting down the days to getting down there. We got a few games to take care of first, but I think I'm around December 22nd, December 23rd. I'll be able to get down there and
That's
then
your break,
stay until about the 27th. So it'll be about probably 4 or 5 days really when it comes down to it.
What's the food though? What's the food talking? Who's cooking?
Like it's a little bit of everything, like almost like touches on Thanksgiving, gets right back to it. A little bit of turkey, ham. They kind of like just stay within that type of food throughout the year. But I always know I want to eat good. That's the main thing. I'm gonna eat a little too much. My momo, she's gonna make some no-bake cookies, and if I'm around my other grandma, she makes the best pancakes, put me to sleep within about 30 minutes. So yeah, it's a great time of year. It kind of feels like time almost pauses when I'm back home. I'm not working. Almost makes it feel weird about day 2, day 3. I'm like, I'm not doing anything productive other than being around family. But it's a nice change of pace. Nice to see the family. It's a great time.
I like the words you use or the phrases you use: change of pace and time to just slow down a bit.
100%.
I've been speaking about it recently, or trying to like just decipher like this way of living, trying to work hard as possible, but also trying to be appreciative of the leisure.
No, 100%.
You know what I mean? And I don't know what, I still don't know how to really like pick apart that topic of living and breathing what you love to do, basketball and coaching and being a part of sports and sports teams, but also just like what you said, taking time with the family. You got your cousins there, you got your siblings, 100%. You got your parents, and you know what I mean? And you just sit there, you got the game on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where 100%. Do you find that balance?
Yeah, the balance, it hasn't always been easy, really, probably into the last year, I was so focused on the dream. So my tunnel vision was where I want to go, but sometimes you have to, you can learn it the easy way, you can learn it the hard way, but you got to stop and look around and appreciate things. Like, you see someone, like a friend, like have a friend who loses a parent, or have a friend that loses a grandparent, and it makes you open your eyes, like, where, and in your own life, makes it feel like you got to be appreciative of it. It's really easy to get caught up in the pace of your life. You get up at this time, you got to do this, you got to do that, all day long, the clutter. But it's important to make the phone call, to show them that you appreciate them, tell them about your day, because at the end of the day, those are some of your biggest supporters in the world, so 100%.
Yeah. Make the call, like how, even though you're in season and everything's moving kind of fast, how often do you call like family?
Yeah, so my dad's my best friend. Yesterday we did not call, and we talked this morning, and that was the first thing. He's like, man, I missed your call yesterday. And it's like, it's true. Like, we had a game yesterday, busy day, got to the end of the night, I was tired, man, and he now works overnights, so our schedules are kind of opposite. It makes it a little harder, but he's my best friend, so we make sure to call each other at least once a day if it's for 5 minutes. Now my mom, not as much, but we have a family group chat, so we're all the time sending something in there. So my dad, he's a talker on the phone. And I'm gonna call my mama a couple times a week too. You know what I'm saying? But my dad's my best friend in the world, really, and we laugh, and he's my biggest supporter, really. I mean, he's truly my best friend. So
are y'all talking just about ball, or is it just
no? So my family, they're not like really big sports people. So it was kind of different for me to like, get into what I got into. Fell in love with basketball at a young age. It was something that I fell in love with. It wasn't like it was pressure upon me. My parents, they don't know much about basketball other than what they've experienced through me. So it's kind of like one of them things where I get to take a break, and talk to them about whatever. But they still support me at the end of the day, too. I get a text last night, look in the family group chat, it's a screenshot of our final score. Like, basketball don't mean nothing to them without me, So that kind of makes me feel good knowing that they're Googling our score and shouting us out for the win. So
you know what's really cool, but I struggle to mention or to think about, and even to talk about with people in my family. It's like you hope that as a son and as a child, you hope that your parents are seeing someone that is doing what they work towards. Not exactly what they're doing, but doing what. Hopefully, you're doing what your parents wanted for you, the best 100%. For you. And I think I've asked some of my friends, like, or even some of my teammates, do you think if your dad specifically, not just your mom, but your dad, as a son, would, if he was watching this, or if he's listening to this, do you think he's gonna be like, oh man, yeah, I'm proud of Brent? Do you hope that's the case?
I mean, that's the number one thing. I always tell people, like, when I'd get in trouble as a kid, I could take getting grounded, I could take, I'm in timeout, whatever. But when you get hit with I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Come on, man, that's the worst feeling in the world. I always tell people that's the worst feeling, because that'll get that lip quivering. You're gonna start crying. You're gonna start crying. So, no, obviously, like, I want to make my parents proud. I definitely think my dad is proud of me. A lot of dads don't tell you, but my dad does, and it's definitely been valuable in my life because I do care about what he thinks. He's a role model of mine. He woke up every day for my whole life at 3 a.m. until he got this actually most recent job about 6 months ago. But 3 a.m, ran a bread route, and with working that early, like, he'd have to go to bed early, and I just watched him get up every single day, and I seen what real work was. So that's why when I'm working in college athletics, I don't ever feel like I'm working. Like, if you view it that way, you're never really working. I could be doing something I don't want to do. So it's a blessing to be able to wake up, even if you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You got to wake up, do your best, and then help others, and then go to sleep and wake up and do it again the next day. And that's every single day. Yeah. You just define work, like you said, real work. And real work for a lot of people, and like for us, from what I'm understanding by real work, is sometimes is viewed as something that you don't want to do, but you do it because it will help you to do what you actually want to do. 100%. Most of the time we're working because to make the money. Most people are working to make money to do things that they actually want to do, not actually working in what they want to do. 100%. I don't have to ask you this because I know how passionate you are about the sport, but I want to ask you, do you feel like there's some parts of what you do that is kind of work? It feels like work, the grunt work that is annoying. You don't want to do it, but you do it. What part of basketball and coaching is that? Yeah, so like I said earlier, was student manager for 4 years before I'm in my current position now. To get to where I'm at now, you can't get there with not having played, without doing what I did. So every day was laundry day. I had to do laundry. When we're on the road, I'm ordering the meals. When we're about to play a game, I'm the one putting out the jerseys, packing up the jerseys on the road, packing up Gatorades, waters, to bring onto the bus, things like that. definitely things you have to do.
Yeah.
I wasn't waking up every day excited to go and fold laundry. I wasn't waking up every day excited to, I'm going to go order these guys food, you know. But I was excited to be able to work with the college basketball program. And I always had, like, you begin with the end in sight. I think that's called being proactive.
Yeah.
Just felt as if I was working towards something. So it was just like, yeah, I had to do that. And it wasn't like my favorite thing to do, but I know I can't get where I wanted to go without doing that. And that's like goes into like one of my favorite quotes is like, you can't, like, you get where other people won't go, or you get to where other people can't get because you're willing to do things other people aren't willing to do. And that's my favorite saying, just because, like, I've lived it type thing, you know. I wasn't recruited out of high school. I played high school basketball. We had a pretty good high school team, but I really enjoyed, like, you know, my teammates and everything. But I knew I wasn't a college basketball player. Never even really had, like, the big dreams of that. You know, early on as a kid you do. As I got older, you know, I seen the writing on the wall. You know, I'm not 6'8" LeBron James, you know, and I knew I wanted to coach from a young age. I had a coach when I was a couple coaches when I was younger that really had big impacts on my life. Coach Davis, Coach Prater, that was my 8th grade coach, and that was my 9th grade coach. Both of them, like, really inspired me to want to coach, really. And from then I knew I wanted to. I had no idea what the landscape of that looked like. But that's really what it came down to. And it just doing things that other people aren't willing to do just so you can get to places other people can't go. That's definitely my favorite quote.
Yeah. I'm gonna share with you another quote before I ask you more about your, like, experience. But a quote that that sat with me yesterday. I heard it yesterday and I was like, oh, I should probably write this down and ask someone about it, whether it's today or in the future.
Yeah.
But it says, don't go where the path may lead, but instead where there is no path, and leave a trail.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm kind of slow, so I had to sit down and think about that for a minute.
It's deep, though.
You know what I mean?
It's deep. I like that. It's pretty much saying don't take the safe route.
Yeah.
You know, if there's already a set trail, you know that it leads to something that is safe. It's when you go off the trail, it's a risk. Yeah. It's like take a risk to get a reward. Or you could fail, but that's okay. You at least tried. And you can relate that to a lot of things. I always like to, like in that instance, like how I tried to apply it, looking at my story and my life was, no one in my family had ever moved off to school, ever. I didn't even know it was possible until a few months before I graduated high school. So when I found out it was possible, I was able to move off. I took that risk, you know, and, you know, a year later, my sister followed. She went off to school. And I got a sister now. She's a freshman in high school, and she wants to do this. My cousin, she's a year older than me. She went off to school, and it's like, not to pat myself on the back because I had support of my family, but like without me doing that, do they do that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's sometimes you gotta, you know, be a trailblazer, and you gotta make your own path.
Yeah.
That's not me trying to be conceited in that way, but it was an opportunity for me that my parents, you know, I went to them with this, you know, I'm thinking about this. My dad sat down with me, broke it all down, how much it's going to cost, do all this. Like, you'll be 4 hours away from home, like, going to have to get a job down there. But I knew it was something I wanted to do for my journey.
Yeah.
I wanted to be independent. In a way, I wanted to, like, become a man, you know. If I would have went to the local community college in my hometown, I would still have been living at home, you know. I wouldn't have been paying no bills. It it would have been easier. And I was forced to grow up when I came to school. You know, one of my coworkers, he said, "You're not grown if you take credit hours." He said, "You're not grown if you take credit hours." But really, I feel like I did a lot of growing up during college. I really do.
You're not grown if you take credit hours.
Yeah, he said, "Yeah, you're not grown if you're taking credit hours." But you know, I happen to like somewhat disagree. I'm not fully out of it, but it's I did a lot of growing up, a lot of maturing. I was able to because I went down a different path. You know, I got out of my comfort zone.
With that, like what do you think about like shortcuts? Because with that path, we're talking about trying to create your own path, your own trail, I guess. Do you think that sometimes if you're looking to create your own trail and kind of divert away from what everyone else is doing, can that also be seen as like a shortcut? You know what I mean? I don't agree. But I'm wondering, some people think that if you're doing something else to get to the same destination, but you're just taking a different route, can be seen as an easier route. You know what I mean?
I don't. I'm with you. I don't agree with that. I think that everybody's story is different. If we was all cookie cutters, it'd be a boring world, man. You know, if I was just like you and you was just like me, that's a boring world. And there's not one straight path to get to anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's path might be, I applied to college and then got this job. Another person's story is, I had a kid fresh out of high school. I worked a job, got them to school. Now I'm going to college, and now I get the job, if that makes sense. It wasn't a shortcut because the person went to college right after, but everybody's circumstances are different. That's why it's important not to judge a book by its cover. I just think that you never know about somebody's situation, so who are you to judge their path, you know?
Sometimes it can be easy to make a bunch of comparisons, you know what I mean?
No, 100%.
And even when, you know, we got our phones, cell phones, and two touches of the screen, you know, we can go on our For You page and we see athletes at this level or doing this and that. And, you know, it's very easy to be like, oh, well, you know, I could do that. I can't do that. And I've always tried to also just think about comparing how to not balance that, but just at what times to compare and how to compare without taking away from other people and myself.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? How often do you find yourself comparing, if you'd be honest?
Man, it's funny. Probably more often than I'd like to admit. Or on quotes. One of my favorite other quotes. Comparison's the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Like, bottom line it is, I find myself when I am comparing a lot, when I'm breaking it down like side by side, you find yourself getting stressed and flustered over things that don't matter. At the end of the day, it's your journey, you know, and you can compare yourself to anybody and you can either make yourself feel better, and that's weird, or you can compare yourself and make yourself feel worse, but what do you accomplish in there? You're still yourself, you know? I think it's a natural thing to do, compare, as humans. It's easy to do, but you have to catch yourself, you know? Catch
yourself, like, before you start.
100%, like, and you may be a little deep in before you do, but then you got to take a step back and you're like, you know, that's not healthy. You know, that's not good for the heart. I don't like comparing a lot, you know. You naturally do it, but you got to stop yourself. That's how I'd answer that.
Yeah. Let's go into where we are right now, just being a bit present, I guess. That's what we spoke about earlier as well, just going a bit slow and just being where we are for a minute. But you are now assistant coach at 23.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we spoke briefly before we turned on these cameras and these microphones, about what it's like being a young coach when you have players at your age and older. You know what I mean? You have a head coach that is almost twice your age.
Yeah.
And you're in an environment where you've also been around these players as a student assistant, where, you know, you same age, and not just same age, but same respect.
No doubt.
But with the title you're talking about before, it's like you are the assistant coach, and you're a lot more mature than many 23-year-olds that I know. So what has that been like now that you've been given this role at such a young age?
I mean, it's blessing. It's definitely a blessing. Obviously something I dreamed about since for a while. Main thing is it's just trying to find your voice and find your balance. You know, like you mentioned, a couple of these guys, they're even older than me. Some of them are my age. But it's cool to be able to be where I'm at, because like you said, my head coach is, 44, 43. I could be getting him. I don't know. But no, he's older than me. But in a way that gives me an advantage where, he may try to voice something to them that, and he says it in a certain way, but I may be able to relay it to him because I'm younger. And, I'm almost, I said, like my age, I'm a peer with them. So if there's something he wants to emphasize to the staff, like I'm able to take it, and I might have a different relationship with them. So that part of it's nice, because I'm almost a bridge between, the ultimate top, the head coach, and then the players, So I'm able to be the bridge in between, and I'm able to joke around with the guys, and it's kind of nice to. I'm sure it's nice for them to have a little bit of a break where they can kind of laugh with one of their guys that is a coach. The hardest part is the lack of voice as well. They're my age, so I may say something to them and they not take it as serious. And every coach goes through it at some point, it seems like. Because when you're this age, like, if you're listening to another person that maybe even be younger than you, then what do you even know? Or I didn't even play college basketball. Brent, you would never know because you was never out there like that. And like, in a way, I agree. That is something that I will never be able to say. But I've been around it. This is my 5th year in the college basketball program. I've been to 200 some practices, maybe 400 some practices. I don't know. Been to a lot of games, know a lot of game situations. Watched a lot of basketball. Played some basketball in school. So when it all, year after year stacks up, and now you look back and I'm a 30-year-old and I'm coaching 22-year-olds, maybe I have a little bit more of a voice. So trying to balance that, being a peer with them in a way, but having a little bit of authority as well. That's probably we have to balance the most, and the biggest struggles with it. But yeah, I mean, obviously blessing. Like I was, if you would have told me that I would be where I'm at 16 years old, 18 years old, I would be so happy.
Because you have 5 years.
100%. It's hard to look at it that way. I had no idea that this would come of it like this, and it's definitely a blessing. Yeah,
man. I mean, I think you said before that it's like a head start.
Yeah, in a way, it is. It is. I got involved earlier. I started my journey at 18. When you get done playing sports, with all the eligibility stuff, you might be 25, and now just getting started. Well, I was learning things when I was 18, a freshman in college. I wasn't a coach yet, but I was learning under coaches and being able to spot patterns and learn terminology and come up with my own ideology of how things should work. The
thing is like you said, like in college, and I had to learn this both the hard and the easy way. Like it's you really have to seize the opportunity, and that doesn't mean just when we get the opportunity to do an internship or whatever, you do it for credit and you do your classes and you perform well, whatever. You kind of have to, especially in the field that we're in, sports management, sports recreation, sports in general is competitive.
100%.
And what you've been able to do is not been honest with yourself and not play collegiate sports, but been around it, and not just being around it in a capacity as a fan, but someone that is also doing things that most or many individuals who are over the age of 25, 30, doing that after they graduate, and still being able to do that as an 18-year-old while still studying and working is phenomenal. And the fact that you're able to do that from 18 till now, and I'm about to get into it, work with a huge brand, Nike, for his internship, wasn't it?
So yeah, I can explain a little bit of that. So it's Nike, the EYBL. It's AAU circuit. That is pretty much summer basketball of the top basketball players in the country, mainly at the high school level. They now have junior EYBL. It's been around for a couple years now. That's 7th and 8th grade. It's a big league. It's held all over the country. I got in with a guy named Todd Hensley. He's the owner of the Indy Heat Gym Rats. AAU legend. I mean, we're talking about his father back in the 90s. He's been doing it forever. I'm sure it goes back even further than I know. So, I got in with him through a connection of a former assistant coach here, Colin Dimitroff, and actually who helps run Indy Heat Gym Rats as well, Ken Aubrey. Got in with them guys. We had a crew of about 7 of us that would, oh my God, I just said 6, 7.
No way.
That's one of the clips. That's crazy. Way. That's crazy. No. So it's about 7 of us. I'm going to skip the 6. 7. No. And it was a great opportunity. So it was, you can look at it as like an internship. It was a great opportunity to be able to network. Pretty much just helping the operations of running the Nike EYBL, from setting up shot clocks to, if a shot clock goes down, having to go do repairs, checking in teams, and then if there's any problems whatsoever, we're on top of it for getting basketballs to them and everything. And to me, I just looked at it as a great opportunity to be able to network, build relationships with, obviously I want to be a college basketball coach. Like I'm a college basketball coach. Like I'm doing it.
That's cool.
And these connections with these AAU teams are very important, especially in our regional area, to be able to recruit some of their kids. So obviously, you try to just build genuine connections through that. I was able to go to Phoenix, Memphis, Kansas City, Dallas, and I'm actually set to do it again next year. It's just great. Yes. Awesome. So it'll be a great opportunity again. Once again, it'll be my second year to go into it. Working with them was a blast. It was a blessing. It was a great opportunity.
So let's just break it down even further, because I didn't understand. I purposely didn't research what the exact internship that you did was, what the details were. I wanted to know your perspective from what you experienced. This is a platform hosted by Nike that allows players that are in college or are before college.
So this is so you'll have 15U, 16U, 17U. So 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds. These are the best players in the country. So I don't know the exact stat. I want to say this year, out of first round draft picks for the NBA, like 18 of them played in the Nike EYBL out of 30.
Really?
I want to say like maybe 5 or 6 of them was international, and then a couple of them was Adidas, a couple of them was Under Armour. But Nike had the majority of it, and I could be off on the numbers, but they completely dominated. And it was, great opportunity. I mean, this is the top high school basketball players in the country. A lot of times they're recruited to go play on these teams. This is outside of school ball, but college coaches are actually able to go in and during live periods and recruit them directly from there. So,
really,
I saw Duke basketball. The head coach John Shire, saw him. Tom Izzo, Michigan State, John Calipari, University of Arkansas, Penny Hardaway, Memphis. like all these big coaches. I was able to see them, and it's cool because I'm at a Division II level, and I'm still 23 years old. And when I was younger and I was watching college basketball, you turn on the TV and John Calipari's up there, Penny Hardaway's up there.
That's cool.
So it was definitely a cool opportunity to see the high level basketball up close. Obviously, I'm obsessed with the game, so. If I had to go work on some shot clocks to do that, I was going to do that in half a second. So it was just great opportunity to travel as well. I never got on a plane until this summer.
Really?
So that was the first time ever, and I flew to Dallas. So
Dallas,
yeah, it was pretty cool.
You drove to the other states?
No, so I drove to Memphis, but I flew to Phoenix, and then I think that was, those were the ones.
So it was like Phoenix, Dallas, Memphis,
Kansas City.
Any like Utah, no? Salt Lake?
No, not out there. And I worked for them guys. Todd Hensley, Ken Aubrey. Was doing that during the summer, but they were all the Midwest region. So now, actually talking to Kent a couple weeks ago, it's gonna be some on the east, some on the west. So it could be, supposed to, I don't even know, Vegas. I think Pennsylvania,
California, actually, no?
Yeah, maybe. So it'll be cool. I'm excited to see when they got me on the schedule to do that. It'll be another great opportunity, and I'll be sure to take advantage of it for sure.
That's good, man. That's good. That's what, May? Start of May?
Yeah, I think May will be right around that time when it'll.
And you'll graduate next year?
Yeah, so I'll actually graduate in May. Got to do, I think I'll walk in May. We have like a little research thing we got to do during the summer. You have to turn it in by then. But yeah, I'll have a master's under my belt and no more school for me.
Oh, that's fantastic. You got a master's and your bachelor's. That's good.
100%.
Before 24, that's really good.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, when you think about you there for 5 years or here for 5 years, got the experience that you needed to move on. And that's something that you can use definitely to not just the experience, but the things that you learn, on the 100%. Way to whether it's coaching here, whether it's moving out of Missouri, whether it's coaching basketball overseas. You ever thought about that?
The opportunities are unlimited. What my boss always says, once you get your degree, that's something they can never take from you.
Yeah.
Whether you retained it or not, they can't ever take that from you. And that's something that is valuable. Having that degree next to your name doesn't mean that you know something that somebody else doesn't know, but it means that you did your 4 years, you did the work to be able to do it. More than anything that it shows a consistency.
Yeah.
You're able to do something that not everybody is able to do. That's why it sticks out on a job application. That's why certain jobs require that you have that. Coaching overseas would be awesome. I think that any opportunity to coach at a high level would be amazing. My ultimate dream is to coach at a high major school, college wise. I'd love to get into the NBA. It's kind of a different. What do you call it? It's a totally different world. Yeah. So if I went and did college for a while, and I decided let's try it with the NBA. Well, one, you have to have an in, and then two, you got to start from the bottom. You start all the way over. And not that you're scared of the grind, but you kind of pick one and choose one, and you kind of stay in your lane. I'm really obsessed with the college version of it. Entering right when NIL will be here, so and it's a wild west out there. So
right, we're gonna talk about that in the quick fire questions and NIL a little bit, but before we do that, I'm gonna read you one more quote,
100%,
just to get your thoughts on this, what you think about, because we talked a lot about who or what you do, and at the start we talked about specifically the people around you, how that impacts you, and how you are around those people, but this quote is more towards you, just your character, stripped away from your role as a coach and everything in sports. But character is built on who you are. Reputation is what others think you are. Which one's more important?
I'd definitely say character, because that's what it is what you are. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can't fake it. You are what you are.
Yeah. But like,
Reputation you can fake.
You could, but like, what if your true character is seen, but like your reputation is like what people really see you as? And then wouldn't your reputation matter more if everyone around you, including your boss, your family, they see you as this, but they can't actually see your true character?
Yeah, I mean, like, for opportunities, it's definitely probably it's probably more valuable. I think that when you is kind of get around your question, if you have, you know, great character and you carry yourself a certain way, I think that your reputation kind of comes with that. Main thing is consistency and integrity. Integrity is like, you know, what are you going to do when no one's watching? You know, and I think that's important. Like, you know, that's who you are. And, you know, if you're consistent and you're a good person, you wake up every day and you just do it all, you know, do the same thing. You got a consistent pattern. You say hi to the certain people and make sure they're seen, you know, and that's all going to come out and you'll see that, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard to, if you fake a reputation, it won't last forever, you know. True colors do come out. So I think that good character ultimately, in the end, outlasts it, but you gotta nurture your reputation for sure, 100%.
Are you your true self around certain people, especially like your family?
Yeah, no, I feel like I can be my most self around my family, and you know, even further, like my girlfriend, I feel like I can be myself. There's certain places you can't fully be yourself in professional settings.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm talking to donors or boosters, you know, for the men's basketball, I'm not gonna make the same jokes as I will with my dad or my girlfriend. You know, it's all about your relationship with them, and then as it gets more and more, maybe you become more and more yourself.
More yourself. You know what they call this season of life? Not just basketball season. You know, they call this a cuffing season.
Cuffing
season,
man.
bro. I mean, look, that's the way to make a joke that about our age, universal. You know, they know what cuffing season is.
No doubt.
But my girlfriend, her sister, she was like, that sounds kind of like inappropriate. I'm like, no, cuffing season just means like, you know, it's a relationship where it's a time where a lot of people get into relationships just because I think it says because it's cold. You know, you want to be in a
the
fireplace.
Hallmark movies.
Yeah. You want to be at home. You want to you know, make hot chocolate and do all that, bro.
Yeah.
It's nice.
100%.
I'm in that season of life, you know. Yeah, I'm thankful. But we spoke briefly before. You know, you found your person. Seems like.
Yeah, I mean, she's a good girl, man. Yeah. She's I met her, you know, back in May. She actually goes to the rival school. She goes to the rival school, Pitt State, about 35 minutes away from here. Yeah, no, she's a good girl. She supports me and balances me, you know. Basketball coach by day, but boyfriend at night, you know. And it's kind of nice that I don't have to talk basketball with her. Yeah. She is not like a sports person. She was a cheerleader in high school, but she's not a sports person. But that's what kind of balances me, man. You know, I got basketball over 12 plus hours a day, you know, and if I'm able to go back, hang out with her, and we just talk about nonsense and make jokes, and you know, that's nice to me. So yeah, no, she's a good girl, man. She balances me, and yeah, I'm lucky to have her for sure.
It's good, man. I mean, The direction that I go with some of these questions is more towards like just who the person is that's right in front of me, and who are the people around them that makes them who they are.
Yeah.
And the topic of relationships has been one that I've also tried to get some like just thoughts on, like, okay, how relationships look nowadays in our generation, but Gen Z.
Yeah.
That's what they call Gen Z relationships,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
But one question I'll ask you probably was like, it's like this the ever going debate, like men versus women, like male versus female, of
No doubt.
how they think, how we think, and how they feel compared to how we don't feel. I don't know, but
Right.
I wasn't able to create an exact question for this whole debate or whatever it is. But what have you seen with, like,
Patterns
being in a relationship? How you see that, like, that clash kind of?
Yeah, you're never. Men and women don't think the same.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's probably the beauty of it. You're not supposed to think the same. That's probably why it works so well in a way. Like, you gotta. But it really shows that, like, you care about someone when you don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
But you care enough to address it and maybe change the way you said something or the tone you said or whatever. It's important to understand, recognize, and, just try not to, try not to do it again, I guess. I think that, it's a good balance. We just think different, and that's the beauty of it. I think that's important
to see that, because to be honest, I don't know how to speak on these type of topics, to be honest, because it's like you don't want to complain, because sometimes it just is the way it is. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Especially as young men, or as a man, you kind of just don't. You speak on certain things, or maybe I don't understand why it's like this, but if you complain, it kind of makes things worse. So you kind of just want to speak and communicate in a way that is not complaining about why they think differently, why we think differently. You know what I mean? Complaining, bro. How are you a complainer? Be honest.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm. I just feel like you have to come from an understanding mindset.
Mm-hmm.
No, not complaining much. No, not much. I'm sure I've had my moments, but no, I think it's important. You don't have to understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Learn that. You don't have to, and that's okay. Like, as long as you can respect that this is bothering them, or you can respect that this is why something happened, whatever. But that's the most important thing, is you don't have to understand. You're not meant to understand. We literally think differently. We're I don't know the science behind it, but we're literally different. And it's important to understand that, recognize that, and understand that you don't have to understand, and that if you care for the person, you change based off that, or you go about things a certain different way. So
that's good. And the first thing when you say the word relationship, you think of romantic relationship, but what are the other relationships you have in your life? I know that just doing research on you, you are heavily based in faith.
Yeah.
And after pretty much everything, even questions that you've answered, you just, at the end of every sentence, you say it's a blessing.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's something that's most people don't really consider, the little things sometimes that you gotta be grateful for.
No doubt.
What's your relationship there?
Yeah, I mean, I love the Lord. I love the Lord. I grew up in church. I don't like to be conceited. I know none of this is possible without Him in my life and my personal life. Like yesterday, I I hadn't opened up the Bible in a while. And in a way, probably should be better about it. But my head coach, we used to have conversations. This is the nice part about being, comfortable with, I have great conversations with my staff all the time. But we were actually in there, and he read a scripture to us. And I hadn't really opened my Bible in a while, but it stood out to me. It was Matthew 6:22. And this is, I don't have it exactly memorized. Pretty much came down to your eyes are the bulb of your life. Okay? So how you do something, right? So something happens, right? When I woke up this morning, I woke up 20 minutes past my alarm. I really didn't, but but how are you going to look at that? Are you going to let it ruin your day that you woke up 20 minutes later than you were supposed to? Because then that brings darkness. If you view it negatively, it's going to be negative. You're going to be in a mood all day. If you view it positively, man, if I would have woke up 20 minutes earlier, I'm out of the house 20 minutes earlier, what happens? You don't want to, but could I have been in a wreck? Could I have, done something and whatever, and that's the way you got to look at things. Like, okay, I didn't wake up 20 minutes before. Maybe I'm slightly late, but I'm not going to let it ruin my day. I'm going to view it in a positive way. So now for the rest of my day, I can be in a positive attitude. And if you're not fully yourself, you're not going to be able to make impacts on others, So I think that, if you're going to have bad days, but if you consistently try to choose to look at things in a good way, you'll consistently have better days and consistently get up. So, I love the Lord. Grew up in church. I am faith-based. It's been a big part of my life for sure.
You Matthew 6:22, was it?
Yes.
I'm coming to terms with, not coming to terms, but for a while this year especially and last year, been very involved in questioning and asking, learning more about Scripture.
No doubt.
One of the biggest, or one of the main verses that I've learned, memorized, but I still manage to mess up the words whenever I say it. But it's actually Matthew 6:14.
Oh wow!
And it goes along the lines of, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. So be present in today. These are not the exact words, but be present in today, because I think something like today is not promised or something like that.
No doubt.
And it's just speaking towards just worrying about the next step, and whether that's positive or negative, but just being present in today, because tomorrow again you're gonna have the same worries.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? What do you think about that?
I mean, and like, the phrase used most in the Bible,
What's that?
Do not be afraid.
Yeah.
It says it, I don't know the exact number, a lot of times, more than any other phrase in the Bible. And that kind of goes along with your scripture, man. Like, you're not meant to be afraid, It's easy to stress, that's the easy way. It's nice when it's really hard to wake up every day and choose to be positive or choose to not stress, Look at what's right in front of you, be present.
Yeah.
Don't worry about yesterday, don't worry about tomorrow, worry about now, Be present, for sure.
Yeah. Quick fire questions. First one. What do you think is the biggest lie our age tells ourselves, or tells themselves?
Man, biggest lie our age tells ourselves.
Yeah.
Probably that they're owed something. Like that people owe them something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if I'm wording that right. You're not owed anything in life.
Yes. Yeah.
Entitlement.
Entitlement. A lot of us are entitled.
100%. I don't know what it is. It's an era thing or what, but you got to work for what you get, and entitlement is like, it's poison.
Yeah.
You're not owed anything. You got to work for what you want, So that's what I would say. The biggest life. Like, this ain't fair. What's fair? What's fair? That's so easily like said.
Yeah.
But what's fair?
What is fair? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a hard question.
Yeah.
It's a hard question to ask. Like, I don't know if anything's fair.
Yeah.
If you really break it down, so that goes back to the comparison thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you felt like something wasn't fair, that means you're comparing to something that you think that was fair.
It's fair, yeah. But you don't know what's fair.
You don't know what's fair. It's like a little mind trick, man.
Bro,
just stay to yourself and work, man. Come on, what are we doing?
Bro, we're like some type of stoic philosophers right now.
Yeah, I don't know what we're on, man.
But this is completely different from the first one.
Yeah.
Is player empowerment going too far? The pressure from the players is to get what they want. So it goes into the next question about NIL.
Yeah.
But do you think with players in all sports, and NCAA specifically, it also talks about entitlement, because we think that we deserve so much.
Right.
Now that we have so much,
right,
in terms of the amount of pushback that athletes for years have been pushing for. Look at it now. Like, you have athletes, getting paid way more than the coaches that they play for.
No, 100%.
You know what I mean? What do you think about like players? Just like, is that going too far?
In a way, yes. I support NIL. I do think the NIL is good. When I first heard NIL, name, image, and likeness, I thought it was going to be when you turn on the TV, you saw a college athlete and they got paid for that. Or a college athlete, the university comes out with T-shirts and their faces on it and their last names on that, and they'd get a percentage of that. Mm-hmm. Now it's turned into, if you come to our school, we will write you a check. Or if some of the number one player in the class of 2025 last year, or this past May, he graduated in May, he's at BYU now, there was a charge that had to, like, you had to pay his dad like $5,000 or $2,000 to make a phone call.
To him? To
make a phone call just to try to recruit him. And it's legit, like, and this is like happening, and that part's too far. I think there's a line where greed comes in, want to capitalize on every single dollar they can make. But on the flip side, I am glad that, people are able to make money. Some of these numbers that we're seeing are life-changing money. The people that haven't come from anything, now you just gave them a check that, their parents haven't made that in their lifetime. Yeah. And I think it's a great opportunity to, I'm not going to hate any time somebody can change their life. Mm-hmm. I think that's a great thing. I think it's more on NCAA more than anything. When they passed this NIL, there wasn't no rules, and now that it's already exploded, they can't go back on it.
Can't go back. That's the thing. When you do certain things, it's kind of like, what VAR in soccer is? VAR. Like, you use it in basketball and in football, like a video assistant. So they replay system.
Yeah.
It was never a thing in soccer before.
Yeah.
And until 2018. Nah, I don't know when it was, but it became put into place in many leagues, and now there's always been like critics saying, "Oh, VAR has destroyed the game of soccer or football," and because it kills like the need for referees and the pace of the game. Same thing, like if you put something in place that may do a lot of good, it will always have criticism, but it kind of takes away from the sport in any regard.
Right.
Something's going to give. You know what I mean?
100%.
You think that's...
Change happens, It'll be different 20 years from now. you know, and who knows what the landscape looks like. It's totally different, but it, you know, I think the people most mad about it are the people that's been paying the whole time just under the table. You know? Alabama football. Alabama football, man. They leveled out a little bit. So I don't know.
But yeah, bro, it's just, I'm all for NAL. You know, I'm all for it. I think it's about time. But this is a conversation that we could go hours on. But
100%.
But what is one weakness you still struggle to admit?
Man, I would have to say, you know, probably time management. It might be my biggest strength, but it could also be my biggest weakness. You know, sometimes it's you know, you look up and you look back and you're like, man, I've worked 12 straight days. You know, I had to do something, or 20 straight days, and you know, you get a rest day and you realize how much you needed it. Just taking the opportunity to be able to set aside 20 minutes to have nothing on my mind, you know, because you can get better at work-life balance, but you got to continue getting better at it. You know, I'm still 23 years old. I'm taking master's level classes right now. I'm nurturing a relationship with my woman, and coaching these guys, individual workouts, scouting. There's a lot that goes into it, and trying to stay busy, nurture relationships with my family. So when you got a lot of things you got to juggle, you got to get good at juggling, you know. Yeah. So that's what it comes down to, and that's probably the biggest thing.
Away games or home games as a coach?
Home games.
Home games, but you like to travel?
In a way, man. In a way, but you know, I like being in my own bed rather than a hotel bed.
Yeah.
Away games can be fun, especially when they got if there's a good crowd, because then when you win, it's that much sweeter. But home games are nice because when you have a good crowd, the fans are going, and you know, it's funny as it sounds, like it's just not a far trip back to the house. You know,
it's a nice trip.
Get down here, meet with the staff, talk to the guys. You feel good until about midnight, and then you know you got to get back to work the next day. I got a number one rule, man, and this is on a win or a loss. Is I don't ponder on a win past midnight, and I don't ponder on a loss past midnight. But I'll think about you know, you just don't ponder. I'm not going to let it really make me mad. That's my rule. I still get mad, but I try to make it like, I'm not going to let this ruin my night. I'm going to sleep tonight, you know, because I can sit back and watch a game 2 or 3 times, and I've done it, and I've gotten no sleep, and I'm not going to let it run my life, you know. I'm going to, at the end of the day, I'm a man first. Basketball coach probably third. I'm gonna get myself in trouble with my girl, but
we don't want you to get in trouble. You said all the right things so far. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. Would you rather show tough love or positive support?
Say again?
Tough love or positive support?
See, I grew up tough love.
Yeah.
You know, I think each individual person is different. You can't coach everybody the same. You know. What up?
What's up, bro?
What up, you're good. You about to shoot?
Huh?
You about to shoot?
Yeah.
Grab your stuff. A little podcast.
No.
What's up, bro?
This is Brady.
I'm Brady.
Jody, nice to meet you, man.
He goes to Newman, bro.
Huh?
He goes to Newman.
Yeah, bro.
He's visiting his girlfriend. He has a podcast, and he looked at the staff and stuff, wanted to get in, so.
You getting some extra reps in?
Huh?
Extra reps?
Day before the game.
Yeah.
The fiance let you out of the house?
Hell yeah.
Well, he's engaged or not?
Yeah.
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 Congrats, bro.
Yeah, he's
This summer.
yeah.
Oh,
You got a date for it?
Yeah. July 18th.
Nice, man.
That's the wedding, or?
Driving up?
Am I invited? I mean, if I got the invite, I'll make a trip out to, what is it, Minnesota?
It's not like 2 hours. It'd be like 10 hours from here.
For my man B Will.
Better be.
Hit that light on the way out. We don't got too much longer.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, 2 questions. 2 questions, bro. Who's the greatest of all time, bro?
It's LeBron.
You think so?
No question, bro. No, not no question. The reason I say LeBron, it could easily be Jordan. All my older friends and stuff, a lot of them say Jordan. LeBron was drafted about 6 months after I was born. And I'm, like we said it a few times on this podcast, I'm 23 years old. He's still playing in the NBA. And I think last year he averaged like 28, 7 and 8 or something. Like, he was the best player in the league when I was like 2, and he was the best player in the league like 3 years ago. Like, I can't even, he's dominant as the number 1 scorer, number 1, like, high assist, high rebounds. He's done it all. He's won the MVPs. He's won championships. He's the GOAT to me.
Who's the best player right now? Is it still LeBron?
In the NBA? No, it's not LeBron. I'll say Nikola Jokic.
Jokic.
Yes, Jokic from the Nuggets. We've never seen anybody like him. He's not the greatest. He's almost starting to have a debate, though, for greatest big man. I mean, he's getting up there. I still got a couple guys over him, but absolute beast.
As a big man? Who would it be?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
And then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He has an argument as well, but Jokic is right there in that conversation to me.
Yeah. What do you think about this new guy coming up? I don't know if he's a censor. I don't know what he is, bro.
Victor Wembanyama?
Yeah.
How'd I already know,
Yeah.
man? How'd I know? Nah, he's a freak, man. Absolute awesome. I never thought I'd see something like that. You know, you play 2K?
Yeah, I played once. Terrible, bro.
So you can create a player on there. When I was growing up, you could only go up to like 7'3", but then he had to be slow, right? This dude is 7'5". He dribbles the ball, shoots the ball, handles the ball, and he's a guard, really. Like, he's a center. He also leads the league in blocks. Like, has the most blocks, can handle the ball. Like, there's nothing he can't do.
That's cheating.
Yeah. He's an alien, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I send some clips. Like, I watch basketball a little bit, and I always send these like house of highlights clips to my friends that play basketball. I'm like, bro, like, I don't play basketball. I don't know it, but I can tell that this is not fair. Like, you know what I mean? But like, this is not
insane.
Normal.
He's taller than everybody. He moves like, I know people that are 6'6" that don't move, that aren't coordinated. Yeah. He's 7'5" and he's coordinated.
Like, there's a clip of, like, I think it was either Curry, one of the players that he made look short, and they take it to the rim. This probably happens all the time. They take it to the rim, they just stop there. He just waits for them, and they wait for the ball. They wait for him to jump or whatever, but they can't take it to the rim. He's just gonna. Oh, you know what I mean?
His instincts are so great. He's coordinated, and he makes people think when they're putting the ball up. Like, I'm not shooting this.
Yeah. Bro, like, and then when he dunks, he's like this off the ground. Like this.
I'm sure he could stand flat-footed and do it. Like, it's honestly impressive. It's very impressive. Never seen anybody like him.
That's crazy. You think he's on track to be like one of those, like, in the conversation for the greatest?
You know, he's got a long way. This is his 3rd year. He's going to have to do a lot, but I can tell you this safely. There's never been an NBA player like him. If he can stay healthy, have the longevity, and win a couple championships, win some MVPs, there's no reason he couldn't be. We've never seen anybody like him.
You know what's crazy? Like, we're going to finish now, but you know what's crazy is that there was players in soccer that we said, we would never see another Pele, or we would never, probably not Pele because that was like a long time ago, but we would never see another Ronaldo or Messi. Before that was like Maradona, but now we have Messi, who's also Argentinian. But after Messi is like, you see players that surpassing him in number, or might surpass him in numbers, and Ronaldo too. But you look at Messi and Ronaldo and you're like, well, especially Messi, not to be biased, you see the way Messi is, you won't, it's hard to find another player that is like him.
Right.
In 2025, and then when did Wembanyama come into the NBA? 23?
23, yeah.
23. You see another player that's like, were you ever expecting to see another like LeBron? Were you? Was you were thinking, oh, we will never see another LeBron?
I probably feel like we'd never see another LeBron.
You know what I mean? But now,
Yeah.
you just got him.
Yeah. Now you see somebody even crazier than that, you know?
You know what I mean?
And it levels up. And that's what I have a hard time with, like, there's like older generations that don't respect the NBA today, not as much. A lot of it's from a competitive standpoint, but this is the most skilled league there has ever been in history.
Yeah.
100%. But when you want it to be that way, when you want it to get better, why would you want it to get worse? You know, that's my question I ask. Is there some weird agenda that you have that you want it to be worse than when you was growing up or something?
Yeah.
Like, I think that knowing what I've went through with certain conversations, that, you know, I'd like to say that I would try to enjoy knowing that there's someone coming in better than Victor Wembanyama that's 8 foot tall and like dunking everything. I don't know, you know, like it's insane, but it's once in a lifetime type of athletes, but hopefully it's more than once in a lifetime, you know.
Hey man, well, 2025, 26 in a couple of days, to be honest.
No doubt.
What's next? What's next for you?
Man, just, you know, take on 2026. Want to graduate, get my master's, be done with school, career opportunities. Obviously, I'd like to go back and work with Nike EYBL again with that crew, and you know, explore my opportunities here, and then connect with others and build my network, and you know, continue my relationship with my woman as well. I mean, she's a great girl, so I'll be lucky if I don't scare her away by then, you know it.
I'm sure you will.
She'll like that one. She'll like that one. Give her a little wink, you know.
You said all the right things, Ron. I've definitely learned a lot from this conversation. Been excited for this one since the start of the semester.
No doubt.
And just to speak about the Nike deal and how that came around, and you coaching at quite a young age. And thank you.
I appreciate it, man.
That's all I got for you.
My man.
Yes, bro.
Yes, sir.